Hi, I'm Pale Kayl. Welcome back to Beauty and Bee Movies with me. Unless you've never been here before, then welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are going to be talking about a movie that you may not remember. It's called The Stuff. You ever heard of it? Well, it's a 1985 comedy horror that is pretty wild. Picture it. It's 1985. Reagan's in the White House, the economy in a lovely boom, and a mysteriously addictive white goo is unearthed, packaged, and sold to the public for a profit underneath the name The Stuff. Because enough is never enough. With the stuff!
Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
You will see that that is a prominent theme in this film. It's a repeated jingle throughout the movie, and it kind of eats. The stuff certainly does eat. So let's get into the stuff. Now, I did try to do a makeup look that is inspired by the carton that contains the stuff. Symmetry is not always my best friend, so the eyeliner is... I did the best that I could. If you are interested to hear me talk about the stuff and kind of create this pinky purpley magic on my old face, keep on watching. If you'd like to leave a comment down below and let me know what else you would like to see on my channel, we would love to see it. If you've seen this stuff, definitely give it a shout out in the comments. And also, if you haven't seen the stuff, maybe go watch that before watching my video so that you can follow along and kind of know what's going on. Let's go find out about the stuff and the zombies that it creates. Enough is never enough with the stuff. Feeling real 80s today. I got my nice acid wash vest on. Feeling good. So our movie opens with some guy hanging out outside a quarry, you know how you do. He sees this mysterious white goo bubbling out of the ground. So naturally he does what any of us would do and decides to start eating it. There's no thought process at all. He just looks at it, reaches down, picks it up, puts it in his mouth. It's like a 2-year-old mentality of I see it, I eat it. He discovers that this stuff is delicious and decides immediately, without knowing what it is or truly where it really comes from, besides, you know, the earth, he can make a profit off of it. I'm gonna prime my face using these little thirst burst drops. I've been fucking obsessed with them. I've been using them nonstop. We cut to what I'm assuming is a few months later. They don't really tell us. It just all of a sudden cuts to basically everybody is lapping up the stuff, which is what they've decided to market the white goo as. It's called The Stuff. And I just want to get this out of the way right now. Do not take a shot every time I say the stuff in this video because you'll die. They decide that they are going to call it The Stuff. They're marketing it like crazy. People are grabbing it up. They're loving it. They're obsessed. They've even got a catchy jingle, which is enough is never enough of the stuff, which I'll be saying also like 50,000 times during the duration of this review because it's fucking catchy. Like, the jingle slaps. Let's be honest, the jingle slaps. Everybody's kind of obsessed with the stuff. It's kind of like the best thing since sliced bread. We meet pretty much right away one of our protagonists. His name is Mo Rutherford, and he has been hired by what essentially is Big Ice Cream, as I understand it. These like ice cream corporation heads, I don't know, major conglomerates, words. They hire him because he's an ex-FBI agent and they want to get to the bottom of what's in the stuff. Like, what is the stuff? It's kind of the main mystery of this film. Because I mean, yeah, in the beginning we saw that it comes out of the ground and it's white and it's tasty, but like, what is it? What's going on? Mo Rutherford is hired. He's kind of an interesting character, to say the least.
That's a sweaty palm. That's 2 sweaty palms.
Hey man, you don't call somebody out for that. That's kind of out of line.
Let me feel. Ah, that's another sweaty palm.
Okay, this is a side note, but Mo really gives me like 1980s Matthew McConaughey. I kind of thought he was just gonna roll up on one of the factories that's cranking out the stuff and be like, all right, all right, all right. Be a lot cooler if you were the stuff. I can't do Matthew McConaughey. Never said I was good at impressions, but do I sure try my darndest? Absolutely. We see right away he's kind of a loose cannon, plays by his own rules kind of type. You know, he's very Detective Mills before Detective Mills. Like, this came out 10 years before 7, so he's kind of like not the blueprint, but like a very early edition Detective Mills, I would say. Like, he punches this guy in the face randomly for no reason.
When you talk to the FBI, would you tell them this for me?
Next, we meet our second protagonist, Jason. And I know you're thinking like, well, what about Mo? Like, what's going on there? You just gotta go with it with this movie. The scenes are very not connected till like halfway through the film, okay? So let's just accept it. So we meet Jason. He is our second protagonist. He's this kid with like the bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life. His brother and dad also have like super dark hair and super blue eyes. I feel like the casting was kind of good. Like they do look like a family. They look like they would all be related. I just thought they did a good job with the casting, and I just wanted to celebrate them because, you know, I'm me and I'm gonna be ripping this movie apart. Trying to be positive, okay? His family is basically like knee deep in the stuff, right? They're obsessed with it. They've got a tub of it in the fridge. They're talking it up. You know, the mom sounds like a commercial when she talks about it.
Look at that, not a spot. Low in calories, good tasting, and it doesn't even spot.
Okay, weirdo. When did this turn into an ad? I don't know. At least it's not a Folgers ad, though.
You're my present this year.
Yeah, okay, anyways, Jason's family, loving the stuff. Jason, not so much. He, like, snuck downstairs in the middle of the night to get a snack or whatever, you know how you do when you're a kid. And he opened the fridge and he saw the stuff, like, moving out of its container, like, physically moving. So he's suspicious of it, right? He's like, something's going on here, because that's weird. So Jason is not into this stuff. Like, he tries to tell his family, tries to warn people. He's like, hey, I think enough is enough of this stuff. His suspicion drives a big part of the movie because he's one of the only people in the film that is not like literally fucking titties out for the stuff. He's like, actually, I'm good. I'm more of a frozen yogurt kind of guy. Speaking of ads, commercials, you know, what have you, we do jump to our next scene, which is the Stuff commercial that is being filmed, and we're kind of watching it be filmed. Again, kind of a weird jump cut to all of these women walking around in fur coats and super high cut leotards, but I mean, that was, you know, kind of the staple outfit in the 80s. From what I understand it, everyone walked around in Speedos and fur coats. Kind of a necessity. So Mo shows up and he starts just like barking out orders. Like he's like, you go on break, you get out of here, you get out of here. I want to talk to the lady in charge of the commercial. Her name's Nicole. She's like the producer or ad executive. Listen, I never claimed to know stuff. I don't know what her official title is. Anyway, I don't know who made him the boss, but okay. He insists on talking to Nicole. Red flags flying all over the place because he's being weird.
And here I am with you, and you're awful pretty.
So Nicole, this is like top tier creep shit. Like he's walking in, he's already calling the shots. He's hitting on you. Girl, run. Well, she doesn't run. He must be a Libra or something because he like charms her immediately. He's trying to get information from her because he thinks maybe she knows what the stuff is made out of. And remember, he's been hired to uncover that. She doesn't really know. No one seems to know what's in the stuff. It's kind of a big old conspiracy, mystery, whatnot. Also, I'm going to be using the NYX Wonder Snatch powder today. I really like this powder. It doesn't oxidize at all on like fair skin tones. It is really blurring. It's nice. This is my issue with this powder though, is the size. This is like a baby bird. Like this is a tiny little fucking powder for the amount. NYX, I know you didn't do this. You didn't put this out. Girl, this is a mini. 6 grams of product. Now I want to show you Anastasia setting powder. This is the size difference. Yeah, they're a different shape, but this is 6 grams, 25 grams. So this is like more than 4 times the amount of this. Math. I'm a genius. I know what you're thinking. Well, Kayl, the Anastasia one is like $38 and the NYX one is like $13 or something. Math ain't mathin' on that. If this was the same size as this, the NYX one would be more expensive. That just seems wild to me. Oh, drugstore, it's cheaper, you get what you get, but like cost-wise, that doesn't make sense. This needs to be bigger. I like the powder, but I mean, that's like crazy, right? Long spiel, but I felt that it was important that the people know. So the next scene, we check back in on Jason because it kind of like pivots back and forth between Mo and Jason because they're both going to be the main characters of this film. Well, we pivot back to Jason and he's just causing absolute fucking mayhem in this supermarket.
Hey, give me that.
Getting into like physical altercations with multiple employees at the supermarket because he is suspicious of it, right? Like he is not into it and he wants to tell the world and he wants to warn everybody. So he's trying to destroy like every last carton, which, bro, not realistic, but hey, he's like 10 or whatever. So I appreciate the effort being put in. You know, again, here I do want to restate, make sure that you do not take a shot every time I say this stuff because you're going to be like Buck from Deer Camp 86.
Come on, let's get to camp before dark, Buck.
Tough titties, my liver's itching.
If you haven't seen my review on Deer Camp 86, please check that out. That was a fun one as well. This is kind of a side note, but I love how it takes literally like 3 store employees to hold down this, like, I don't know, 80-pound-year-old kid. 3 grown men that are holding him down, like holding him back. I thought that was funny. Again, he might not be 80 pounds. I don't know weights, ages, weights. I don't know, but that's just a guesstimate. From looking at him, I'm like, girl, is he that wily? He's that scrappy that he needs 3 grown men to hold him down. Good for him. It's giving fire sign energy. Cute. So we pivot back to Mo, and he's trying to really like get to the bottom of what is in the stuff. So he meets with like the president of the company of the stuff. He just is trying to ask him like what it is, because it seems that everyone who was on the FDA board that approved the stuff for sale is mysteriously either out of the country or has died. Big old conspiracy theory going on. It's time to turn on the X-Files and see what Fox Mulder has to say. Mo meets up with this executive. He doesn't tell him really anything. He's acting fucking weird. So then Mo decides to go kind of like explore around the town where I believe it was where they did like a test market audience for the stuff. He goes to this town. He's kind of like poking around. There's really nobody around. And all of a sudden he meets this guy named Chocolate Chip Charlie. He used to be an executive for the junk food company that produces the stuff now. So he has been kind of like cut out of his own company by his family members that he was in business with. They were like, you're out of here. They kind of exiled him. So now he's also poking around trying to figure out what's in the stuff because he's suspicious of it as well. So Mo and Charlie decide that they're gonna team up and combine forces to figure out what's going on in the stuff, because one man is never enough to uncover the stuff.
You're Chocolate Chip Charlie.
Well, I sure as hell ain't the Kentucky Colonel. Get off of me!
Chocolate Chip Charlie is also kind of a loose cannon. Like, he's constantly trying to fight people too, so I guess it's a match made in heaven or hell, I don't know. But they team up, they decide they're gonna poke around town and get to the bottom of this old mystery. Matthew McConaughey and Chocolate Chip Cookie are kind of poking around the town trying to figure things out. So the boys happen upon this super shifty guy. They say he works at the post office, but it seems to be like a general store. I don't know. I'm from a small town, so I get it. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, this is the library, but it's also just like a house. It's not like a normal building. It's like an old house that's now a library. I don't know, whatever. They meet this super shifty guy. He's just acting weird. He's kind of shuffling around. He's acting shifty. Like, I doubt this man is a government official. Sure enough, when they go to check on Mr. Postman, because he like leaves the room for a minute, he's like, excuse me, I'm gonna go to this back room. Nothing weird. Well, they go to check on him and they come across this site.
Nobody's mouth could open that wide.
This was very unsettling. Like, this was the first moment where I remembered, oh, this is a horror movie, that's right. Prior to this, yeah, this stuff's kind of weird and spooky and whatnot. It felt like a comedy, and it's definitely a comedy horror, but I don't know, I just forgot. I'm only human. So the boys take off running because they're like, I'm not sticking around to see how that turns out. Ugh. They go to this lake that's in town because there's a boat just waiting there for them. It's never explained. Again, you just gotta kind of roll with it. They get ambushed by like the 4 people that still live in this town. They don't want to be bothered. They're like, get the fuck away from us. We just want to live in this abandoned town and eat the stuff and turn into zombies, because that's kind of what's happening. The stuff essentially is turning people into zombies, or I think they call them stuffies in this film. They're becoming stuffies. Stuffies are zombies that eat the stuff rather than brains. Like, they're obsessed with consuming more of this goo that is literally killing them. And I mean, they're basically just made out of the stuff at this point, because Chocolate Chip Charlie literally like punches somebody and they just, here, just watch.
There's a hole in that sucker!
Wait, what? So luckily our boys get away so that Mo can go hit on another waitress immediately.
You got a cup of coffee for me? Oh, damn. You're a pretty thing. Look at her. Isn't she pretty?
Mo, Cool it, all right? This is like the second woman that's been in this movie, besides Jason's mom, but Mo hasn't met her yet, so who knows? Might be time to hit on some Mo women. It's like the second woman in this movie at this point, it seems like, that has a speaking line at least, and he's hitting on her immediately upon meeting her as well. Mo, you need like a fucking hormone suppressant or something. I don't know what's happening. So Mo and Chocolate Chip Charlie decide they're gonna split up so that they can kind of cover more ground. Mo's gonna keep looking into this stuff, and Chocolate Chip Charlie is gonna go to the FBI and tell him what they just fucking saw, which I'm sure they'll believe immediately with no evidence. Mo doesn't want to talk to the FBI because, you know, he's ex-FBI. They don't like him. He was bad at his job or whatnot, and they don't really trust what he has to say, so he can't go to the FBI, but he gives Chocolate Chip Charlie the name of some FBI agent and says, hey, you go tell them that. I'm gonna keep looking into this shit. So Mo almost immediately gets run down by the stuff van. Like, it's a whole government conspiracy at this point to take this guy out. Like, someone took a hit out on him or something. There's a girl on a walkie-talkie that's like, here he comes. And then the van comes like careening around the corner. It's heading right for him. He jumps out of the way. It's this whole fucking scene of like, oh, he knows too much. Like, he's getting too close.
Here he comes.
I love that. I love that trope in movies. He knows too much. We have to eliminate him. So Mo's investigation, he gets like a break in the case because he sees this newspaper article about Jason not liking the stuff.
Some kid on Long Island sure as hell doesn't like the stuff for breakfast. Went bonkers in a local supermarket.
And I thought this was so funny because, like, can you imagine what a slow news day that must have been?
Give me that. Hey, give me that back!
What do you think you're doing?
Headline, child is picky. Alert the media. There was nothing else going on. People are dying. Instead, they're like, nah, show this kid that doesn't like this product that everybody else likes. Put that on the front page of your newspaper. If that was always the case and it was always about picky kids, I would have been literally like the darling of local news as a child. I lived off of nothing but chicken nuggets, chocolate milk, and reheated pieces of pizza. This is the Alani Purple Cotton Candy. Look at how influencer-y I look. Hi guys, I'm trying the Alani Purple Cotton Candy. It's dripping all over me from condensation. I do want to preface this by saying I hate cotton candy flavored things. However, I think this is meant to be more of like a sweet grape, which I do like if you've seen my opinion on grape flavored things versus actual grape. I didn't say justice for grapes. I said grape as in grape flavor. I stand by what I said.
Why not justice for all grapes? Why just the flavor?
So anyway, we're gonna try it. Ooh. I think I need a third sip actually. Okay, it's better than the lime slush, but not by much. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's not horrible. Like, I'll drink this. It's definitely one that has to be cold. If that gets warm, like in your car, that's gonna taste like fucking nightmare fuel. It's gonna put some hair on your chest. I'll drink it. I'm not gonna throw it out of bed, but it's not cherry bomb. It's not pink slush. So Mo decides that he's gonna go visit Jason because he seems to be the only other person in the fucking universe who doesn't have a gullet full of goo. What did they use for this stuff? It looks like melted marshmallow fluff, maybe? Something like that. I wanted to know what was in it. I mean, obviously you want to know what's in it in the film, but I mean like on set. What were the practical effects behind the stuff? Like, how did they make it? I just want to know what was in the sauce, you know? So it's at this point where Jason really is seeing the extent of how brainwashed his family is. They've thrown away all of their normal food and they've just filled the fridge with cartons of the stuff. Guys, I think that just might be enough of the stuff. I really like this part too because he like calls his mom out. He's like, why are you talking like you're in a commercial?
We're dieting. I've lost 5 pounds already this week and I've never felt better.
Why are you talking like you're on a commercial?
Jason tries to run away because he's like, I'm fucked. Like, my family is completely brainwashed. I'm next. He tries to leave. His brother straight up fucking manhandles him, pulls him back into the house. He's like, no, you're gonna eat the stuff. They send him upstairs with a carton of the stuff and they're like, you go to your room, you finish this, you can come back down and be part of the family. I think Fig is about to walk in front of the camera right now too. Hello. What a handsome boy. Oh, he's really just chilling here. He usually doesn't like to be held at all. That's par for the course. I really want to do a look that's inspired by like the carton of the stuff. So gonna be very like pink purple type of moment. I'm gonna grab my stuff. Of course, I've got to use my big old Beauty Bay palette. Why do we not make palettes like this anymore? There are still people out there like me that want a palette like this. Some of us want the clown makeup, and we matter. Clown makeup matters. So our boy Jay over here, he is smart enough that he goes upstairs, he takes the stuff, he flushes it down the toilet. Again, he's been suspicious this whole movie. Clearly he's like, weirdly enough, he's smarter than most of the adults in this film. I love when they do that in movies. They're like, actually the kid is the smart one. The adults are all idiots. He flushes all the stuff down the drain and he fills his carton with shaving cream, which is so gross because then he goes downstairs and starts eating it in front of his family. He's like, delicious. I love this stuff. #1 fan right here. And he's just straight up nomming on shaving cream and not like little nibbles, but he's taking full bites like, ow. He's like Yoshi with the little fucking like eggs and mushrooms and shit, like, yum. He's trying to make his family not suspicious of him. They've got like a goblet of the stuff on the table and the mom's just spooning it out and handing it to everybody. That's fucking weird, right? Well, unsurprisingly, his family catches on that he is not eating the stuff. They kind of get hip to his game. The dad like tastes it and then he's like, get him, and they're running after him. Jason takes off because his family is like, it's mob mentality kind of deal. Jason takes off running, runs outside, and who does he run into but none other than Mo Rutherford driving by right at that time. I mean, what are the odds? How did he show up that fast? We don't know. It's unclear. But Jason does the smart thing and gets into a stranger's car. Now, to be fair, in this scenario, I kind of understand why he does that because his family is, you know, clearly like zombies that are trying to make him one of them. So honestly, typically, yeah, no, don't get in a stranger's car, but in this scenario, I kind of get it. Mo, basically all he has to do is say, hey, I've seen the stuff move too, get in. And the kid's like, all right, I'm here to party. Jumps in the car, they take off like bandits.
Excuse me, sir. I kind of just threw up in your car.
I know.
Well, kind of like bandits, I guess. I'm gonna add some purple into the eye here. Just really want this to read and give 80s. I know, shocking. Coming from me, no way. Mo, Jason, and Nicole, remember her? I guess she's like Mo's girlfriend now. He apparently had Riz, as the children say. I don't know, I got told the other day that I had Riz. Sure. They take off. They are heading to, I think it's like the production plant where they make this stuff. They fly to Midland, Georgia together because they're all gonna go uncover the mystery of the stuff. Why we needed to bring like a 10-year-old kid, I don't really know. I guess he probably was like, well, he has nowhere to go, like he has no home to go back to at this point, so I guess he's like my kid now. Love that they were able to get on a plane with a child that they just abducted. That seems super realistic. I do think it's a private plane though, so maybe it would be easier for them to do that. Realistically, there would be hell to pay if you did that, but what do I know? I don't have children. I would think that his parents would be like super pissed, but I guess his parents are no longer his parents. Maybe they don't care. I mean, his dad was a straight up dickwad. I guess he's like the stuffed zombie anyways, so that's probably why, but who knows? Who can say? In case you missed the jingle, as I'm sure we all did, here it is again.
How's the food, sweetheart?
Rock, where's the stuff? The stuff is here now. Great new taste sensation. Light and free now. Gives you elevation. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
So after after the jingle, our two lovebirds decide they're gonna shack up in a motel. They just are tired from looking around the distribution plant and getting no answers. They did like a tour of the factory or whatever and found out nothing. This whole thing, they're just not getting any information. I think that's why he like went and got Jason, because he was like the hope that maybe the kid knew something. How would he know? He just knows something's up. He's like 10 years old, but whatever. So the lovebirds decide they're gonna shack up in a motel, and Jason's not even with them. They just like left him on the plane with the pilot. They were like, hey, you can babysit, right? Yeah, here's this kid. We're gonna go fuck. So they go to this motel, and I guess it's actually a good thing that Jason did not come with them, because the stuff starts seeping out of their pillows. They're just, you know, sleeping a little Betty by time. The stuff starts overtaking them, grabs Mo. Luckily, Nicole, she decides that she's gonna try to like fight the stuff off, and she somehow knows that fire is the only way to kill it. She like lights it on fire. I don't know how she figured that out. Again, this movie, nothing's ever explained. You just kind of have to roll with it and hope for the best. Nick Mole, that's what I'm gonna call them, Nicole and Mo. I think their ship name is Nick Mole. Nick Mole fights off the stuff with some fire. Mo gets away, good for him. The same cannot be said of this ginger in a flannel. I guess he's in on it. Like maybe he's the one that put the stuff in their pillows. He like runs in and he's fighting Nick Mole. He's trying to support the stuff, but in doing that, he gets overtaken and eaten by the stuff.
Look at that. That's meant for us.
Rest in peace, Flannel Ginger. You certainly were an extra on this set. RIP. So Nick Mole decides they are gonna head over to the distribution plant in the middle of the night because they didn't really get any answers, right? They're like, we gotta figure this shit out for ourselves and nobody's gonna tell us anything. So we gotta break the law a little bit. So they head over there in the middle of the night and they end up finding where the stuff comes from, which again, like we saw in the beginning, is the earth. But there's this huge cesspool. They're taking it out of the ground and they're just throwing it in the carton and selling it. It's not regulated in any way. It's just literally coming out of the ground and going into people's mouths.
That stuff comes right out of the center of the earth and straight into our supermarkets.
They now know where the stuff comes from, and it's also revealed here that the bigwigs that run the stuff factory, they want to use the stuff to solve world hunger. So they want to send it to like third world countries and like give it to the homeless and all this different stuff to try to combat world hunger. Either it's that or it's part of a larger conspiracy. Who's to say? Enough is never enough of the stuff. Ooh. That purple shimmer is really pretty. I know, shimmer doesn't usually show up great on camera, but it's really pretty in person. Let's celebrate that. So we don't really have a lot of time to think about like what's going on with the world hunger bit of this, because J-Dog stowed away in a truck that is used to transport the stuff. It was empty, he kind of got stuck in there. They drive it to the site not knowing that he's in there, and then they start pumping the stuff into the truck, and J-Man in there is just chilling. He's like, oh fuck, I'm about to get got by the stuff. This kid has had so many near-death experiences in this movie. How he is not a stuffy is actually kind of shocking. So they start pumping that marshmallow fluff right into the truck. And this was one of my favorite parts of the movie because the green screen work is genuinely so terrible that it almost like loops back around to being great. You can tell that he was too close to the green screen because the green actually starts spilling out onto him and like his hair. Truly incredible editing. So glad that the editing team wasn't asleep on that one. Not to worry though, all hope is not lost. Mo over here, with a few stock punch sound effects, he takes over the crew that has the truck that J-Man is stowed away in.
Get out of that truck!
He grabs the truck. He also saves Nicole from one of the stuffies and they drive off. It's all hunky-dory, everybody's fine and good. And I actually think this shot right here is the best of the green screen work, meaning the worst, of Jason's dangling feet. Yikes. I'm gonna do some more purple on the lid, and then I'm gonna have to do this white eyeliner, and I'm probably gonna have to be silent when I do the white eyeliner because it's gonna take a lot of concentration for me to make it symmetrical. For the white liner, I'm gonna use this little NYX Inky Sticks. These are a really cool product. They definitely, I think, are meant to be a dupe for the new Urban Decay ones. They came out around the same time, and I was like, now NYX, you silly little guy. They're definitely a dupe brand, which is fine with me because NYX is fucking awesome. Like, their products are always good. This is like a baby bird NYX. I know you didn't do this. This one, it's like a cross between a gel and a liquid, I think. You just kind of pump her up, and it's got kind of like a weird little slanted tip. It's gonna work for what I need it to work for, I think. Okay, here's the thing. Is my symmetry perfect? No. Is it ever gonna be? Probably not. I never claimed to be good at symmetry. I never really claimed to be good at makeup, to be honest with you. This is the best I can do. I'm trying my hardest. I'm sorry. It's not horrible. It's just slightly asymmetrical, but it's just hard for me, especially because my eyes are slightly different shapes. Anyway, let's get back into it. They decide that they're going to team up with the military and try to get their help on this thing. They're like, we want to get the information out there to the public. If you have the stuff, throw it away. That ain't good. They decide they're going to team up with the military, and in particular, this guy, Colonel Spears. He doesn't seem like a good time. I guess this actor, his name's Paul Sorvino, I guess he was like a big deal. Well, I guess they wanted him to do a cameo in this movie or something. This whole part felt super unnecessary to me. Like, it wasn't funny. It didn't really further the plot much. It was just random and unnecessary, but whatever. I guess they just wanted him to be involved or something. Maybe like people saw that he was in it and they were like, oh, we're gonna go see it now. I don't know. But Paul Sorvino shows up. He basically just talks about how great he is the whole time, and then they decide that they're gonna do the broadcast. I'm gonna kind of skip around this part a little bit just because it's really not that important. I think it was there for like comedic effect, like they wanted him to be funny, but he isn't. I don't know. So again, Mo has no regard for personal space. He gets like super close to Paul Sorvino and starts talking to him.
Consumed by tens of millions of people. And it contains a mind-affecting drug in it. And you and I
Hey Mo, do we need to also have a talk about personal space? I know we've already talked about you hitting on everything that moves, but like, can you also take a couple steps back, please? Thank you. Don't worry though, Colonel Spears is also super weird, so he kind of matches Mo's freak in that way.
Young man, you come with me. We're gonna have a nice, tall, cool drink.
Nothing like a nice, tall, cool drink. My favorite. For the base, I'm gonna use this Dancing Queen. I like never use this. I've used it maybe twice. Beautiful, like wine color. It's so fucking pretty. And I'm gonna use it as a base. Oh, why do I always do this with her blushes? I forget how pigmented they are, and then I just pop it on and I'm like, oh, okay, hello. Hello, pigment, my old friend. It's time to blend you out again. So our little posse infiltrates another factory that's full of dead stuffies, the zombies that are like cranking out the stuff. And they all have that same like weird open mouth thing going on as that guy earlier. Remember like the postmaster guy that was like, we also get a huge explosion of the stuff from the factory. I'm not going to include these shots because there was something like a lawsuit going on with these explosive shots or something. So I'm not going to include photos of it, but it was kind of a badass explosion and I did want to mention it, but we cannot include footage from that. I don't want any trouble. I just review the stuff. I don't want any trouble, okay? Okay. Like I said earlier, they're going to try to do a broadcast. I guess they had like infiltrated the stuff factory and now they're going to do the broadcast. The main thing to note is that they want to tell everybody like destroy the stuff before it gets out of hand. But in my mind, I'm like, hasn't it already kind of gotten out of hand? Like people are dying. Dead people in the factories, dead people in the streets. I feel like it has gotten out of hand at this point, but they're trying to stop it in its tracks, I guess, before it gets any worse. Don't worry, Chocolate Chip Charlie is back. He wants to help with the broadcast message. He's like, let me do this. You know, they kicked me out of my company. Like, this product has taken so much from me. Let me be included. Colonel Spears is immediately extremely racist to him and then is like, I guess I'll let him speak. And it's like, girl, get over yourself. Ew, we did not need that. We didn't need the casual racism injected into the film. So luckily Colonel Spears is like, you know what, fine, he can be part of the broadcast. Like, thanks so much, girl. So Nicole, she's kind of the one who started the whole craze with the stuff, because remember, she was like the ad executive in charge of the campaign. So she's feeling like all kinds of shitty, right? Because she kind of set this thing in motion. It's not all her fault, but she was a part of the machine that was cranking this shit out and putting it into the cartons and putting it into the bellies of unsuspecting people. So she feels bad, and she decides she wants to, you know, help out with the broadcast. Her and Chocolate Chip Charlie go into this little booth where they're like a sound booth. They're gonna start talking about it. And I don't know what's going on here, but something's telling me that might not be Chocolate Chip Charlie. Yeah, I think that appears to be a papier-mâché head of the stuff. So the shots of him puking up the stuff were actually really gnarly, and it made me sad because I was like, man, like Chocolate Chip Charlie was kind of like one of the only characters that I really thought was fun in this movie. He's played by Garrett Morris. I think he was on Saturday Night Live like back in the 70s when it first came out. I think he was the first black man on Saturday Night Live, so that's awesome. Very cool. He's super funny in this movie. One of the only like highlights of the film, I feel like. So it was a bummer, you know, to see him turn into a stuffy, but yeah, they got him, and he starts puking up the stuff. I thought this part was genuinely creepy, even though that's clearly like a fucking papier-mâché head that was made in like a 2nd grade art class. Still thought it was creepy. Still thought it was fun. I'm gonna do a lot of blush because, listen, enough is never enough with the blush. This is the House Labs. These little blushes are really pretty. Oh yeah, hi Pigment. Hello, how are you today? I'm gonna really like pack it on. I want it to be intense, I want it to be extreme. That's this movie, kind of. I'm just gonna do a little check-in. How we doing? How we feeling about the film? Did we expect Chocolate Chip Charlie to get got? I kind of didn't. I guess I was just like hoping that he would be okay. Well, we haven't seen him since he went off to talk to the FBI, and clearly, you know, corporations and the FBI and all the higher ups, they're in on it. So super bummer about that. I actually kind of would have preferred if this movie was told from Chocolate Chip Charlie's perspective. Why couldn't we see him get like kicked out of his company and then he has to like prove that, you know, something's going on with the stuff? Like Mo could have been the side character and Charlie could have been the main character, and I feel like that would have fixed a lot of the issues with this movie. But what do I know? I'm just here, I'm just a woman reviewing a movie from like 40 years ago. I'm gonna do a little more blush. I know what you're thinking, more blush? Kayl, that's a lot. Listen, it's 1985. 1985. Wow, that's a lot of blush. We love subtlety on this channel. It's a lot of blush. I love it though. It's fun and different. So of course Mo comes in and he saves Nicole and J-Dog, who also came in the room at some point. He saves both of them from the pile of stuff that used to be Chocolate Chip Charlie. He like sets it on fire. He's got to save the day. He's got like a hero complex, obviously. I mean, this is good. You know, we want him to save them, so I guess whatever. I just don't really like Mo. Like, I don't find his character likable, so I don't really want to give him anything. Mo saves the day. He saves Nicole and Jason, and then he and Colonel Spears do the broadcast and tell people to get rid of the stuff. I actually thought this part was kind of clever because Mo tells them, like, if you have the stuff, cook it up, because cooking it, adding fire to it, is going to destroy it. So I thought that was actually kind of smart that he was like, yeah, cook it, because if people are already brainwashed by this stuff, they're probably not gonna just throw it away, right? But maybe they will try to cook it to like, ooh, let's see if we can make a little recipe, like cute, meal prep. So that's kind of smart of him to tell them to like cook it up, because if they do that, they'll destroy it. So plot twist, people actually do listen to the broadcast and they decide they're gonna get rid of the stuff. You can really tell they're serious about it because they're burning the stuff in the streets. They're like throwing their cartons in the big fires and they're like, yeah. They also like blow up the shops that sell the stuff. They're over it, I guess. I mean, I do think enough is enough of the stuff. Enough is never enough with the stuff. I'm back and I have lashes on. So they destroy even like the factory that's distributing the stuff. Like everything's getting destroyed, but unfortunately one thing cannot be destroyed, and that's capitalism. Unfortunately, the executive who created the stuff and big ice cream executive, they decide they're gonna team up. So they do just that. They team up and create something called The Taste, which is supposedly like 88% ice cream and 12% the stuff, which they're saying is a small enough amount that it's not gonna turn people into zombies. Like, zombies were... we don't know what you're talking about, man. They are trying to sell like, oh yeah, you know, it's gonna be addictive enough that people can't stop eating it and want to keep buying it, but not addictive enough that it turns them into mush. Because all they really care about is a profit, of course. Not really worried about endangering people's lives or anything. They just care that they're making money.
At the new campaign for the taste.
Mo and J-Dog show up and they're like, we're not having it. They have decided to crash this little meeting that these two executives are having. They show up and you can tell they're serious by the way that J Money addresses the two knuckleheads in charge.
No. Put that away. You wouldn't use it in front of the boy.
Like you said, I've been through a lot.
Same, man. I mean, I'm not like an orphan. Like, this kid's an orphan now. He's got nobody. He's seen some shit. He's been through a lot in this film. I don't know if he's like Mo's kid now. They don't really go into that. But basically, he comes in. He's carrying cartons full of the stuff. They hold the executives at gunpoint and say, get to nomming down. They're gonna make him eat the stuff. And we all know what happens when you eat the stuff, right? I thought this was a good way to end the film. I wasn't mad at it at all. I was like, yeah, eat the rich, you know? They basically hold the guys at gunpoint and they're like, yeah, get to eating it. Mo actually gives this hilarious delivery right here.
Eat it.
Almost as good as...
Anyone had the banana daiquiri?
That's, I think, my favorite line read I've ever seen in film, because obviously, like, how could it not be, right? This one's pretty good, too. It's definitely up there. Okay, it's official. I feel bonita. This is how the film ends. It ends with a great line.
Are you eating it? Or is it eating you?
Whoa, man. It's pretty heavy. I actually really enjoyed that one. I thought that was the best line of the film. And yes, that does include Mo telling everyone they have sweaty palms.
Ah, that's another sweaty palm.
Shocking, I know. That is essentially how the film ends. These two old men stuffing their face with the stuff. And we also see that there's some shifty kind of guys that are starting to sell the stuff on the black market. So apparently enough is never enough. It does still exist. It's still being sold. So that, good people, is the stuff. What do we think? How do we feel? This is an interesting piece of artwork, isn't it? So I felt like the overall themes of consumerism and kind of not really knowing what we're putting into our bodies, that's kind of what makes this movie great. There are a lot of issues with this film. I have to say that. I have to put that out there. I'm not trying to be negative, but it has to be said. So I'm gonna say it. I love the whole, are you eating it or is it eating you? That whole line. I love that. I think that's kind of, you know, summarizes the film, of course. But yeah, I just felt like the way the scenes jumped around in the first half were so confusing. I also felt like there were too many filler scenes that like were not necessary at all. There were a lot of them. I cut a lot of them out just because I didn't feel like they were necessary to the story. Like I could just tell the story without them and it would make zero difference. So that's what I decided to do. So that this review wasn't 6 hours long, because we could really dive deep into kind of the meanings and the symbolism and all these different things, but at the end of the day, it's a movie. The rewatchability rate is quite low for me. I don't see myself rewatching this probably ever. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I didn't hate it or anything. I actually thought it was entertaining in a lot of ways, but I feel like if you watch it maybe 2 or 3 times, you're gonna probably be set for life, honestly. I did think it was fun. It almost reminded me, if you were a kid that read Goosebumps, the Goosebumps series has a book called Monster Blood. It's basically just this green goo that keeps getting bigger and bigger as it swallows different things and people and pets and all this shit. It just becomes this monster, essentially. And it kind of reminds me of the stuff. I almost feel like maybe this stuff inspired that story a little bit. I don't know. R.L. Stine been real quiet since we dropped this video about the stuff. Just kidding. In all actuality, they might not have anything to do with each other. It just felt kind of like maybe it's the precursor to that. I don't know. Maybe Monster Blood is like the kid version of the stuff. That would make sense. I just feel like there were a lot of filler scenes and I could have used more horror, less filler. I know. Wild to hear me say that. But I am me and I'm nothing if not consistent. I will say the special effects were bad, obviously, right? We had the paper mache head, we had like the weird white goo, we had the terrible green screen work, but I kind of liked it. I felt like it added something. I don't know. It was kind of schlocky and like stupid and funny, and I don't know. I didn't hate the special effects as much as I normally would with them being this poor. I actually thought it kind of added something to the movie. It made it a little more interesting. I didn't hate them. The paper mache head especially, like, I laughed out loud when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's not serious. It was fun. Again, the watchability is kind of what brings this down for me. I mean, so many things were unnecessary. The military getting involved, why? Why did we need that? I really think they just did that so Paul Sorvino could have a cameo, but like he wasn't funny or necessary to the story, so like what was the point? I also felt like Nicole and Mo's whole relationship highly unnecessary. Nicole's character goes from being like this career woman, like business executive in the beginning to like literally just serving as a love interest for him. I don't know, she barely has a character at the end of the movie, which I thought was really disappointing, I guess. Like, it was just weird. Why did we even need to include her at this point? Why do we need to keep her in the film? There was no reason for it. I guess so that there would be a love story, but they didn't develop the love story. I read something that said that there was a love scene that got cut. That would make a lot of sense, actually, because I feel like we needed some kind of development in their relationship. Maybe we could have cut the military thing out and just had that love scene in there, and that would have made more sense. Felt like that was wildly unnecessary. I know I said it earlier too, but I feel like if Chocolate Chip Charlie would have been the main character of this movie, that actually would have fixed a lot of the issues that it suffered from. Like, let's see his perspective. I'd rather see that, even though he gets overtaken by the stuff. They could have had Mo get overtaken by the stuff, have him be a side character that gets got. I don't know. I'm just pontificating at this point, but that's just how I feel. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it 2.5 pumpkins. It's not horrible or anything. Like, I've watched far worse things on this channel. I just think it's really disjointed and kind of just thrown together. I feel like they could have done better with it. They could have done more. The whole message of over-consumerism and capitalism, greed, corporate greed, all of this stuff, like, it's very relevant and real and interesting, but it just wasn't executed the best, unfortunately, as that does happen sometimes. The concept says a lot. It's just discombobulated, and that's my opinion. So thank you so much for tuning into Beauty and Bee Movies today. I would love to hear what you think about the stuff, what you think about this makeup look. I think it turned out pretty good. I know that the symmetry and the eyeliner isn't perfect. We don't need to go telling me that in the comments because I'm very aware. It's not perfect. I did the best that I could, okay? Symmetry and me are like passing chips in the night. I'm gonna really quick just add a little bit of fragrance. This is the Kayl, the Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I felt marshmallow was appropriate for the subject today, given that it was clearly marshmallow fluff. Oh, I ate a lot. It's been a minute since I've done that. Thanks so much for watching my review of 1985's The Stuff. Let me know what you think down below. Leave a comment of what you'd like to see next, what makeup looks you would be interested in. If there's other content you want me to scratch the surface of, if you want me to talk about a movie that maybe isn't a B movie. I've thought about doing that, maybe expanding a little bit, doing a different series of more like mainstream stuff, not super mainstream because, you know, I'm me. Something a little different, I don't know, movies that maybe have a budget. Wild, what a concept. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'm Pale Kayl. I'll catch you on the flip side. Enough is never enough of the stuff. See you later.